What's up, guys? This is going to be the full card breakdown for UFC Fight Night, Smith versus Rakic. It's coming up later today, 6:30 start time for the prelims. I'm going to start to put these videos out a little bit earlier. Once school goes back, I'll have a bit more time. And also, I'm going to start with the Capper callouts videos, doing those separately. So I'll probably drop that one in between the Contender Series and next weekend's UFC card. Wager Talk still, communicating through movie clips, and I think I need to, put a rest to that. So I'm going to put that video out. I think people that like the Capper callouts are going to find that entertaining. I know it's not for everybody. I don't want to eat into the prediction videos anymore, so I'll do those separately. But let's get into this card. First fight of the night, we got Mallory Martin and Hannah Cifers. So Mallory Martin, in the fight that I watched, the most recent one against Virna Jandiroba, she got taken down pretty early. She was put in an arm triangle. It was pretty tight, but she did survive. Made it back to her feet. She got submitted in the second round, but it looks like her ground game's decent. Hasn't really had enough fights in the UFC to get a good gauge of what she's capable of. I think the line is way off here. Because Hannah Cifers missed weight, we don't know why. I'm going to probably live bet this fight. A lot of times what will happen at the end of the first round, the heavy favorite, which is obviously Martin in this fight, will stay a significant favorite even if the first round's close. If that's the case, I'm going to take a bet on Cifers. She's a tough girl. She's pretty good in the clinch. She's probably going to look to get a hold of Martin and do some dirty boxing and things like that. So I would worry if it went to the mat, though. I think Martin will probably have the advantage there. Cifers has lost fights on the ground before, submitted and ground and pound. So it could be interesting. I think that the bookies are writing off Cifers. So I'm going to be looking at a bet there. And because of the odds, I'm going to go with Hannah Cifers by decision. Then we got Sean Brady and Christian Aguilera. So this one, Aguilera looked good at the weigh-ins. He's a little bit bigger than Brady. Brady's on a tear, though. He is a good wrestler, good on the feet, well-rounded. So, I am going to go with Brady. I think the line is off, though. I think it should be closer than that. But again, I think he should be the favorite. So if you are going to play Brady, more of a parlay option, to round up another line that isn't great. So I'm going to say Brady by finish in this fight. I'll say by TKO in the second round, ground and pound. Next up, we got Austin Springer and Alex Caceres. So Austin Springer's coming in on short notice. He does have a win over Giga Chikadze. He's on a 3-fight win streak. This could be a really good fight. Fighters making their UFC debut don't always perform to the level that they normally do. So we might not see the best version of Springer. Again, it is short notice. I'm actually going to go with Alex Caceres here. I'm going to say that he gets it done by decision. I say he gets it done on the feet, just outpoints Springer. But it could be a close fight. Next up, we got Zach Cummings and Alessio Di Chirico. Chirico looked really good at the weigh-ins. He looks ready to go. He's bigger than Cummings. Zach Cummings is a tough guy, though. He has some decent wins in the UFC. Di Chirico, he is on a 2-fight skid, but Magny is a really tough guy. And the loss previous to that was Kevin Holland. So nothing to be ashamed of there. He has a win over Julian Marquez previous to that. This might be the fight that he makes the turnaround, picks up a win. It looks like he's taking it really serious. I'm going to take Di Chirico in this fight. Cummings is a good grappler. I think this one, they might cancel each other out and it might end up on the feet. But yeah, I'm going to go with Alessio Di Chirico by decision. Next up, we got Magny Pitolo and Kasanganay. So Magny Pitolo, both of these guys are Contender Series fighters. Magny's had a couple fights in the UFC now. He did get choked out by Darren Stewart in his last fight, but he did get the takedown. It was one of those situations where he just got caught. Not the best cardio, decent grappler and a decent striker. He has a win over Charles Byrd, but his first performance, that's the one that really throws me off. Callum Potter grinded him out, picked up the win there. It was his debut, so cut him a little bit of slack, but Kasanganay, his biggest tool, in my opinion, is going to be his cardio. I think that if he makes this a grind-heavy fight, he might be able to tire out Magny and pick up another decision similar to the one that he got on the Contender Series. His opponent on the Contender Series, in my opinion, won the first round and only lost because he gassed out. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see Magny pick up the win here. He's got the experience. He has some fights in the UFC. But the fight against Callum Potter does throw me off. And I think Impa might be able to just grind him out here. So I'm going to go with Impa Kasanganay. I'm going to say another decision there. Then we got Magomed Ankalaev and Cutelaba. So this fight actually happened a couple months ago. Magomed got the TKO. Cutelaba was saying that, he was kind of bluffing, trying to get Ankalaev to come in so he could catch him with the shot. Kind of playing possum, and the ref called the TKO. So a lot of people thought early stoppage. UFC decided to put the fight back on. To get right to the point, I'm going to go with Magomed again here. I think he can probably catch Cutelaba again. I mean, Cutelaba has power in his hands. If he comes forward, winging those bombs, anything can happen, right? He could catch Ankalaev, but I'm going to go with Ankalaev. Similar outcome to the last fight. I'll say TKO in the first or second round. Next up, we got Ricardo Lamas and Bill Algeo. So this is interesting. Ricardo Lamas, not really on a good run right now. He's won 1 out of his last 4 fights. Top competition, though. Calvin Kattar was one of the losses. I believe Mirsad Bektik and Josh Emmett. So nothing to be ashamed of there. He did get knocked out in 2 of those fights, though. So Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett put him away. This could be an interesting fight. I think a lot of people are writing off Algeo. At the same time, he hasn't really fought the level of competition, so I do understand it. I'm going to go with Ricardo Lamas here based on his experience, but the fact that he's 38 years old, the speed is going to go at some point, and it's hard to say when that's going to be. I really wouldn't be surprised to see Algeo steal a decision, but I do think that Lamas is still just that next level of competition, so I'm going to go with Lamas here. I'm going to say by decision again. Then we got Ji-Yeon Kim against Alexa Grasso. Tough one here. I think this one could be a close fight. I do think the line is a little bit off. Not a lot of value on Grasso. I'm sure a lot of people probably have her in a parlay. But I am going to be staying away from this one. It could play out close, like I said. Grasso's a tough girl. She's been in there with some high-level competition. And Kim, not so much, but, she looks decent on tape. She's aggressive. She'll probably look to, press Alexa Grasso and outpoint her that way. So I could also see Grasso, just outclassing Kim. So it could be, again, a really good fight. I'm going to say Alexa Grasso by decision, but not looking to put her in a parlay. I'm going to keep her away from betting. Then we got the co-main event, Robbie Lawler and Neil Magny. So this is a really good fight. 2 veterans in the UFC. Robbie Lawler, though, hasn't looked good in his last few. Years ago, I definitely would have picked him here. When he was the champ, he looked really good. But, at this point, like I said, hasn't been impressive. When he fought Colby Covington, really low output. Colby Covington was unloading on him. And Neil Magny has looked good in his last couple fights. I did pick him to win his last 2 and bet him against Rocco Martin and Li Jingliang. He took a loss to Ponzinibbio a while ago, but Ponzinibbio got popped for steroids. Haven't heard anything since then. This is going to be a good fight, in my opinion. Good co-main event. I'm going to say Magny avoids the power and gets it done by decision. But if Robbie tags him, it could be an early night. I think Neil's good at, keeping the range and probably could outpoint Robbie. So I'm going to go with Magny there by decision. Next up, we got the main event, Anthony Smith and Alexander Rakic. So Anthony Smith, he's been in there with the top of the division, coming off that loss to Glover Teixeira. That was a tough one. He took a lot of damage in that fight. But I do think there's value on him. If I'm going to be honest, I lean towards Alexander Rakic to win the fight. But when the line's where it's at, a small shot on Anthony Smith, I think is worth a bet. But again, Alexander Rakic, he looked in good shape at the weigh-ins. He's going to be looking to have, a really impressive performance. He seems to be confident. So I could definitely see him getting the win here. But I'm going to go with Anthony Smith just because of the odds, like I said. I'm not going to put a big bet down at all. It's going to be similar to Frankie Edgar last weekend. But I think that, again, all the value's on Smith. So I'll say Smith by decision. I think this is a 3-round fight. Just going to check that quick. Yeah, so it's a 3-round fight. I could see it playing out really close. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Smith there. I'll pull up the bets now. It'll be a couple parlays. This card really is, a lot of favorites again, so I'm going to keep it relatively small. Been doing decent lately. A lot of dogs are coming through, so I am interested to see how this card plays out. It's going to be exciting. There were some winners last week as well, so I'm going to pull those up now. So we had James Lake. He hit his parlay from the Contender Series, Huckbody, Romero, and Pickett. So that was a good hit there. He's also going to be looking to finish off his parlay with Ankalaev, Brady, and Rakic. So I hope that comes through for you, James. Then we got 8 Shy. So 8 comes through every week, does a write-up on the fights that he has an opinion on, and it's always really good. So this week he went 4 out of 5 on the Contender Series. So I wanted to pull that up. I appreciated 8 every week coming through with those. Then we had Will Wong Sales. 2 out of the 3 weeks that I've done this, he's come through. So he had the over and the Frankie Munoz fight, and he also saw the value there on Frankie. So good calls by Will Wong. Then we had Mayor Saidi. He had Dobson, or he put some change down on Dobson. So one of the only guys that I saw that did that. Also, he had Edgar as well. So 2 of the big dogs last week for Mayor. Wanted to give him a shout out for that. And then we had Duncan. He was on the opposite of one of the plays that I had. He liked Selecki to get the W there. He called that one. So good luck there by Duncan. So had some winners this week. Austin Gowan also had Frankie Edgar as well. Hopefully another solid week. Really looking forward to the fights. Let me know who you guys have. I will be putting out that video, so watch for that. It's going to be an entertaining one. I'm going to finish off the first Capper call out and get into the beginning of the second one. So I'm going to start doing those separate. And like I said, now that school is going to be getting back, these videos will start to come out earlier. So, some good things happening starting in September. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.